See if you can recognize the words and repeat. Shri Rama Ramaya Namah, 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 Shri Rama Ramaya Namah. राम चरण है तीरथ पावन, राम चरण है तीरथ पावन, तपी दोपहरी में सावन, राम चरण है तीरथ पावन, तपी दोपहरी में सावन, राम चरण है तीरथ पावन। श्री राम रामाय नमः, श्री राम रामाय नमः, श्री राम रामाय नमः। चरण नित मंगल गाऊं, नगर नगर में, नगर नगर में राम चरण नित मंगल गाऊं, नगर नगर में कथाएं सुनाऊं, राम चरण नित मंगल गाऊं, नगर नगर में कथाएं सुनाऊं, सुंदर छवि मन की मन भावन, सुंदर छवि प्रभु की मन भावन, राम चरण है तीरथ पावन, तपी दोपहरी में सावन, चरण है तीरथ पावन। श्री राम रमाय नमः, श्री राम रमाय नमः, श्री राम रमाय नमः। श्री राम रमाय नमः, श्री राम रमाय नमः, श्री राम रमाय नमः। श्री राम रमाय नमः। Again, we will chant from beginning. Om Bhadram Karnebhi Shrinuyam Devaah, Bhadram Pashyemakshabhir Yajatraah, Sthirairangayistushtuagm Sastanubhihi, Vyashema Devahitam Yadayuhu, Swasti na Indro Vriddhashravah, Swasti na Pusha Vishwavedah, Swasti nastarkshyo arishtanemihi, Swasti no Brihaspatir Dadhatu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Mano hi dvividham proktam, Shuddham cha shuddhameva cha, Ashuddham kama sankalpam, Shuddham kama vivarjitam, Mana eva manushyam, Karanam bandhamokshayoh, Bandhaya vishayasaktam, Muktam nirvishayam smritam, Yato nirvishayasyasya, Manaso muktirishyate, Ato nirvishayam nityam, Manakaryam mumukshuna, Nirasta vishaya sangam, Samniruddham manohridi, Yadayatyatmano bhavam, Tada tat paramam padam, Tavadeva nirodhavyam, Yavad hridi gatam kshayam, Etajnyanam cha dhyanam cha, Shesho nyayascha vistaraha, Naiva chintyam na chachintyam, Na chintyam chintyameva tat, Pakshapat vinirmuktam, Brahma sampadhyate tada, Swarena sandhayet yogam, Aswaram bhavayet param, अस्वरेणानुभावेन भावो वा भावयिष्यते तदेव निष्कलं ब्रह्म निर्विकल्पं निरञ्जनम् तद्ब्रह्माहमिति ज्ञात्वा ब्रह्म सम्पद्यते ध्रुवम् निर्विकल्पमनन्तं च हेतुदृष्टान्तवर्जितम् अप्रमेयमनादिं च यज्ञात्वा मुच्यते बुधः न निरोधो न चोत्पत्तिः न बद्धो न च साधकः न मुमुक्षुर्न वै मुक्तः इत्येषा परमार्थता iti esha paramarthatha. This is the supreme state. What is that supreme state? Supreme state is where nanirodha. There is no nirodha. Nirodha means actually controlling and restraining and bringing home like that. There is nothing to see. Nobody has gone anywhere. What you will bring home? Means we have really not gone anywhere from ourselves. Gurudev used to give a nice example of a man who drank bhang. Bhang, you know? In those who are from North India, they will be exposed to some intoxicating drink they make with ganja. Ganja means marijuana. Want me to tell you how to make it? Anyway, they make that drink and then when the person starts laughing loudly without reason, then you know it has hit home, something. Anyway, so this man drank bhang and he was in his own house. And then he started shouting, "Take me home! Take me home!" People were wondering, why is he shouting, take me home? He's at home. So what they did? They took him for a round like that, around the village or somewhere, and they brought him back. And they said, "Now you're home." He said, "Oh, thank you." So it's this whole sadhana thing. It's like we're taking a round to get where? Where we already are. We have always been there. We have not left. But it seems as though we have left and we are wandering in this world and we are suffering and all that sort of thing. That is like a dream, like a dream world, In this dream, the tiger is chasing, lion is chasing, something is chasing, and we keep running. And we run everywhere looking for refuge. And in the end, we wake up and realize that we had not gone anywhere. And there was nothing. So in that state, in that supreme state, nanirodha, there is really no such thing as controlling and restraining and dissolving the mind and all that kind of thing. In that state, I have always been there and I have not gone anywhere. Nachotpatti. In that state, there is no rising of anything also. See, when I wake up, right, I realize that there was really no real rising of any tiger. Upon waking up, I realized no tiger really rose, Still somehow seemingly a tiger rose and it chased me and I ran everywhere. It is real as long as we are in the thing. Once we wake up, I realize it was all false. Nabadhaha, there is no such thing as bondage in that state. And in that state only I realized that the bondage also was all false thing. So who can bind Brahman? There is nothing so powerful to bind Brahman. But the world is like that. in life you encounter so many things where it is really as though we are seemingly bound or seemingly taken over by something, when in fact it is not the case. We are not taken over by that thing, but it appears as though we are taken over by that. Like that man he's sleeping on his bed and he thinks that there's a ghost under the bed. So he's scared, he can't sleep. So he goes under the bed just to prove that there's no ghost under the bed. He goes and sleeps under the bed. When he's sleeping underneath, he thinks that the ghost is on top of the bed. So he goes to a psychiatrist and he tells him his problem. The psychiatrist said, no problem. You come here 10 weeks in a row, every Saturday, and you pay me like 500 a week. I'll get rid of the ghost. That fellow said, okay, I'll think of it. I'll think about it. He went away and never came back. After 10, 15 weeks, that psychiatrist met him on the street. What happened? You never came back. What, you made friends with the ghost or what? He said, no. I went to my grandmother's house and she gave me a simple solution. What is that? Cut off the legs from the bed. Now there are no under bed and nowhere the ghost will be. But anyway, that thing which is non-existent, which doesn't exist at all, could somehow bind the mind, catch the mind in some kind of grip like, and the thing is not there, but we go on dancing to its tune, even though the thing is not there. So in this reality, there is no such thing as control, there is no such thing as bondage, there is no such thing as liberation, nothing. But we are here somehow in this dream. Somehow means we'll see how just now. How we came into this dream, or what is causing this dream. And we are dancing to the tunes of this dream. And this dream is wonderful actually. Once you see, when you sit in that movie theater, right? I remember seeing some movies and all people who are looking at that movie, they cry like anything. Especially these Hindi films and all. In these Hindi films, there's so much crying. So they sit there, and when these people are crying, everybody is crying in the audience also. So if you start thinking, no, that director is telling this actor, actress, now you cry. The director is directing everything, and they make all little pieces of movie and they put it together and all. If you really study how it is made, you will not cry. But because you forget how it is made, and you're so caught up in the reality of this thing, you also cry. And that director is telling that actor, now you have to jump off from that cliff. So the actor said, what? This is such a high cliff. What if I die? He said, that is okay. This is the last scene of the movie in any case. So in the movie, when we see the person jumping off, it's not only a real high cliff that he is jumping, but we think, from there if he jumps, he'll die. We take it to be so real and all. It's all camera tricks, things going on there, So if we take it to be real, we cry. If we understand what is behind it, exactly the same thing with this. Because we take it to be real, we get so affected by the whole thing. So what we have to do? Mentally, now, so again, we come back to mental sadhana. We have to understand the unreality of it. See, waves rise up from the ocean. Ocean is one uniform body of H2O. One uniform body of H2O, waves rise up. When a wave rises up, that doesn't change the formula of water. No matter what shape the wave takes, it still remains as H2O. Not only does it not change the formula of H2O, it also doesn't increase or decrease or strengthen or weaken H2O. Everything about H2O remains intact, isn't it? Unchanged. In the very same way, the whole universe is rising and dissolving, rising and dissolving. But it changes absolutely nothing. As we started out, in the very same way we are. But in that rising, so many amazing things appear. It's called as ativichitra. So bewitching and also so mind-boggling. So many things come up and we get caught up with one of those things and we latch our minds onto it and then we're taken for a ride, just like in the dream. But in that reality, no such thing exists. So there's no bondage, no sadhana. Nobody who's bound, there's no sadhak who is striving also. Means all that is part of the charade. All that is part of the grand show which is going on, which has no reality. It's just like the movie. Namu mukshuhu, navai muktaha. There is nobody who is seeking moksha. It means all of these things are part of the unreal. The one who is bound, the one who is seeking moksha, the one who is doing sadhana, the one who is restraining, or the restraining itself, all of that is part of the whole show. So when we reject everything. Namuktaha, there is nobody who is free. Shankaracharya writes in his Nirvana Shatakam, there is no mukti also. So, Swamiji, there is no moksha and no bondage? Why didn't you tell me before this camp? I would not have come here. Now only you are telling. You know, one fellow, he was about to drink a glass of water. And you know, in some countries, there are these little lizards that walk on the wall. In Girgit, that lizard at that same time jumped across while he was drinking this water. And he got the impression that while he was about to drink, it fell in that glass and he drank down that lizard. And he was convinced that he drank the lizard and it went down. So he went to the doctor and he told him, I swallowed a lizard. So the doctor took a X-ray and everything to see if anything was there inside. And there was nothing. But this man was convinced that he swallowed the lizard. He said, doctor, maybe your X-ray did not pick it up, but I'm telling you I swallowed it. So the doctor said, okay. I'll give you some nauseating agent here, something. And when you vomit with this thing, you will vomit out that lizard and you will be fine. Meanwhile, the doctor told one of his attendants, please go outside and catch a lizard. That fellow went out and caught a lizard and brought it. And doctor gave this man this medicine. And he vomited out. And when he was vomiting, this doctor threw that lizard there only. Right where he vomited. So the doctor said, see, look. Now it has come out. Now you are okay. He said, look here, doctor. Don't joke with me. I swallowed a brown lizard. This is a green lizard. What is So, something has to be done to convince this fellow that the thing has come out. In fact, he has really not swallowed any lizard. But we also have that feeling that, somehow I'm suffering, somehow I'm bound, somehow I have this misery and all of these things. So all of these sadhana, spiritual things and all the Upaniṣad and study and all of it, something has to be done. So that we'll come where? Right back where we have not left. Again, it's a contradiction in terms, isn't it? We come back where we have not left. If it is not done also, then this feeling perpetuates itself, isn't it? It gets worse and worse. So something has to be done to come back home, as it were. When they construct housing schemes, they do that, Hey, you're driving along this road, main road, main highway. You pass your house. Your house is along the main highway. But off the main highway, you cannot get into your house. You pass your house, you go way over there to the traffic light, make a left turn, and go all the way like that, and then come back to your house. And you just passed it was 10 feet from the highway. Right there. But you have to make all this round to get to your house. The same way, we are home already, but we have to make all this round to come back home. So in this self, there is no sadhak, there is no sadhana, there is no moksha, no seeking moksha, no nothing, no control. Then I have always been there and I have not gone out anywhere, but there's a feeling that I have gone out. And just to get rid of that feeling, we have to go through all the charades. What to do? That is why Maya is called as Ati Vichitra. We'll see just now. Maya will come up in this Upanishad only. Then we'll see some more about that. Huh? Now, that self is always free, always there, has not gone anywhere, but so many different states arise. Waking state, dream state, deep sleep state, and different things are happening in all of those states. None of which are real. All the things are just appearing there. That's just like a movie. You have to think about that movie example all the time. Huh? On that movie, the screen, so many things are happening. And in the end, nothing has really happened. So many things arise on that screen. And when you finish, so many emotions would have flowed through your mind. And you would have felt so many different things. And in the end, none of it was real. Though it caused so much of emotions. You will remember when Gabbar Singh killed Amitabh Bachchan. Oh, Bapre. Everybody cried. Oh. Even today he's alive. Amitabh Bachchan is still there. That is a thing which was unreal, made so many people cry. So here now, these different states come up. None of them are real also. Eka eva atma mantavyaha jagrat swapna sushuptishu sthanatraya vyatitasya punarjanmana vidyate Eka eva atma mantavyaha jagrat swapna sushuptishu sthanatraya vyatitasya punarjanmana vidyate. Punarjanmana vidyate. Bhagavan refers to this phrase in Gita as well. That there is no rebirth. Rebirth is also part of the whole package of Maya. That I am born and I die. Again I die and I am born and I die and I am born and on and on. That is part of the whole package of falsity. So that comes to an end when the person transcends these three states from where all these experiences are coming. What three states? Jagrat, Swapna, and Sushupti. In the state of deep sleep, Sushupti, what experience is there? Total ignorance. I don't know a thing. I know nothing. Total ignorance is there. So that is the experience of that state. Then in dream, all experiences you know. And in this waking state, in fact, in the Ashtavakra Gita, it is said between this waking state and dream state, you really cannot make much differentiation. The scriptures are very clear, but you can't make much differentiation. In anything you can say about this waking state, you can also say about the dream state. It's very difficult. Right now, it is impossible for you to prove that you are not dreaming that a Swami is talking to you. How you will prove? You can't. Suddenly you may wake up and then only you will know. Is it possible or not? Some people say, no, Swamiji, it can't be so clear and not true. You feel that it is clear, so you think that it is clearer than what you dream. But sometimes some dreams are very, very clear also. So you could very well be dreaming. Anyway, if you dream satsang, that is good. You dream tiger chasing and all that. So, in these three states, we have different types of experiences. And sthana trayi vyatitasya, having transcended these three states and gone to the fourth state, which is called as Turiya state. Having gone to the Turiya state, the fourth state, then and only then that person lodges himself in a state from where there is no rebirth, from where there is no coming back again, from where there is no waking, dreaming and sleeping. But as long as we have not transcended these three states and gone to the Turiya state, we will always be in this realm where we are subjected to the three states, waking, dreaming, deep sleep, and we are subjected to the vagaries of those three states. The states are okay, but what they bring? Waking state brings its own set of problems, dream state, and both of them will have their own sorts of joys also, waking and dream, because many times in dream you may find yourself flying also. Na? You fly sometimes in dream. So that's a joyous thing to fly. I don't know about you, I've flown many times. Oh, it is so good. So dream has its own joy. But then many times I've been chased by tigers also. So it has sorrow. And here also waking, same thing. So it is the vagaries of the two states which bring the sorrow. This self, which is said to be the fourth state. The state and the self is one and same. Their self is described as a state. Turiya state it is called. That self or that Turiya state is there behind the three other states. It means even though the three other states are going on, this is always there. It has never been lost. I have also not left there. But I am thinking that I have left. That self is described again now in the next verse. See. Eka eva hi bhutatma bhute bhute vyavasthitah ekadha bahudha chaiva drishyate jalachandravat eka eva hi bhutatma bhute bhute vyavasthitah ekadha bahudha chaiva drishyate jalachandravat eka eva hi bhutatma. That self is one self, bhute bhute vyavasthitah, which is residing in all things. You see, in Sesame Street there was a little boy. I don't know if you remember the scene. There's a little story on Sesame Street. Little boy gets lost in one of those puppets. He gets lost on the street. So first he becomes scared. Then he remembers that his mother told him that if you ever get lost, please find a policeman. So he quickly looks around now to find a policeman. He found a policeman. So the policeman happened to be his Uncle George. So he said, "Oh, Mr. Policeman, I am lost. Can you help me?" That policeman recognized him, "Oh, Joey, it is you." Whatever his name was. "It is you. You don't recognize me. I am your Uncle George. He said, what? You don't look like my Uncle George. I've never seen my Uncle George wearing a hat like that, striped clothes and all that kind of thing. So he took out his hat. He said, look at me now. No, you still don't look like my Uncle George, I've never seen him wearing this type of... So he took out that police uniform. And then this little boy, oh, it is you, Uncle George. Oh my God, can you please help me find a policeman? But in uniform or out of uniform is the same Uncle George. The same one person is there. But when he puts on different clothing and all that kind of thing, then he looks differently. It's in the very same way, it's the same one self that is there in. But this self is so amazing. It is there pervading every iota of this body, BMI. But it is there pervading every iota of this space also. It is so wonderful that it can pervade the space and also pervade this body, BMI, and still not be recognized. Still not be seen. So, it is one self existing in all, bhute vyavasthita, staying or residing in all things. But when we see the things, we look at the things as things and not as the self. Now let me tell you a little bit about that. When you walk into the potter's shop, the fellow who is making clay pots, when you walk into his shop, he makes so many, you've seen him making so many items of clay, right? Different items, some are small, some are big and all that sort of thing. When you walk in there, you have an option whether you are going to look at the different items made out of clay or whether you are going to look at the one thing in the shop. So you have a choice whether you're going to look at the variety or the oneness. The variety is all the different items. So this is called pot, plate, cup, a little horse he is made out of clay, an elephant. That is a variety. These are all names and shapes. So you can switch your vision from that variety to the one thing which is there, and that is clay. So in other words, somehow mentally you have to switch your vision. Am I going to look at all the variety or am I going to look at just clay? In this world, our eyes are locked onto the variety and we never switch our vision to the existence which is the clay. That is our problem. We have not trained our eyes like that. We have not trained our mind. We have not trained our senses to look away from the variety and look towards the existence. Because everything exists or not. Everything in this space exists. It is here, very much here. You see? Every single thing exists. In fact, there is nothing which you can show me which doesn't exist. Try. Show me something which does not exist. In fact, there is nothing else in the universe but existence. There is that one thing. And from that, everything is fashioned. It is that existence which pervades everything. Bhute bhute vyavasthitaha. It resides in all things. So, what is required is a special training of our senses and our mind to be able to make that switch. Recently, somebody sent me an email where there are these pictures, and when you look at the picture well, some other picture emerges. Have you seen that? If you look well, and sometimes some people go on, I'm not seeing it. But it requires some sort of mental switching, shifting. Is it like a visual paradigm shift? Like that. Then you see the other picture. So, this is what is required in our sadhana. To switch from the variety to the one thing which is there behind the variety, or from which the variety is fashioned, from which the variety is carved out. So that one thing is called as existence. And it is there pervading all things. Ekada, even though it is one, Bahuda cha eva drishyate. It looks like so many. So the world looks like there is a variety, but really speaking, there is only one thing. Isn't it amazing that you are carved out from the same thing I am carved out from? We are carved out from the same thing that all other things are carved out from. Doesn't that make us one with all things in the universe? I mean, this space is made from the exact same thing I am made from. And like that, all things in the universe. That is why Mahatmas, that is Tulsi Dasi, for instance, he says, I see Ram in everything. And he says, I put my hands together and I salute everything. Siya Ram mai sab jag jani, karo pranam jori jugapani. Putting my hands together, I salute all things in the universe. There is nothing which is unworthy of my love, my salutations, my reverence. Because everything is just as good as or equal to me. Yet, because of our absence of vision or lack of vision, we put so many different types of hierarchies and domestic walls we build up between ourselves and others, and all sorts of things we go on doing. And little human being only looks for a little excuse to make some differentiation. Everybody likes to stand out. Everybody likes to be distinguished. So he looks for some little thing between himself and the other person to distinguish himself. And he doesn't realize that he is carved out from the exact same material as the other person and all. So he gets taken up with the superficialities and he forgets the most fundamental thing. So the best way to come back to the most fundamental things is to start giving up the superficial things. Nah? If you don't give up, if you don't leave see, you want to climb to the next rung of the ladder, but you don't want to give up this rung. So how you will go to the other rung? We have to be prepared to give up. Huh? So that self, which is the one self which is there in all things, appears to be many. And at Jalachandravat, like the moon in the water. And there's a river there, and there's a pond there, and there's a lake there, and there's a bucket there. And there's one moon, but you see the moon in all of them. So you think, how many moons are there? Two fellows were visiting, it's Jacksonville. So they saw that the sun was setting like this time in the evening. So one was telling the other, oh, look, the moon. The other one said, no, it's the sun. The other one said, no, it's the moon. The other one said, no, it's the sun. So another man was passing. So they asked him, hey, is this the sun or the moon? He said, I don't know, I'm not from around here. Anyway, the moon, though one, can appear as many. So, the self, though one, appears as many. So now, in this body, it appears as some little Atma. In another body, as Atma there. And we say, he's a Jivatma in a little ant also. And we think that there's so many selves. But it's the one same self. That is the idea. One self appears as so many things. One clay appearing as pot, pan, plate, cup, and so many different objects. Now, it gets a little bit subtle also. So, some amazing facts about space and some amazing facts about the self. Because some of the examples can bring us close. Of course, the example can, just now it is said, we said, no? Hetu drishtanta varjitam. It is beyond comparison and, any such, you can't get any example which is exactly like the self. But some of the examples are so good, they can take our mind very close. It will not be the same thing. Examples have their limitations. But that doesn't mean to say that they are altogether useless. Actually, very useful. Now see here. Which examples are given? Ghata samvritam akasham niyamane ghate yatha ghato niyeta nakasha ghato niyeta nakasha tatha jivo navopamaha ghatavat vividhakaram bhidyamanam punah punaha tata bhagnam nacha janati sajanati cha nityashah ghata samvritam niyamane ghate yatha ghato niyetanakashah tatha jivo nabhopamaha ghatavad vividhakaram bhidyamanam punah punaha tadbhagnam nacha janati sajanati cha nityashah ghata samvritam akasham niyamane gate yatha. Yatha means just as space which pervades the pot. Now let me tell you what that means. So suppose you have a pot here, right? Clay pot, any type of pot, doesn't matter. There is space in the pot as well as outside the pot. So space pervades, space inside as well as outside. So let us say there is 1 cubic foot of space inside that pot, right? And niyamane means you now move this pot from here and you move it over there. Think along with me. Huh? You move the pot from here and you put it over here. You drag it along. Have you moved this space inside the pot? That's an amazing thing. Huh? The pot still has 1 cubic foot of space in there. But please understand that the space that was here is still here. You have really not moved the space. So what you are doing is slowly, when you are moving this pot from here to there, see right now this space encircles 1 cubic foot of space here. Huh? It demarcates 1 cubic foot of space here. When you are moving that pot, what you are actually doing is encircling each time a new cubic foot of space until you have gone there. So it encircles a new cubic foot of space there. And the cubic foot that was encircled here is still left here. So there seems to be that movement in space, and you seem to have moved space. But really you have not moved space. That is an illusion actually. We think that we have moved the space. In the very same way, all movement in Brahman is like that. It appears as though this living jiva has moved from here and gone there. But a BMI, which is being enlivened by Brahman here, that BMI is just enlivened by Brahman there. So when I move from Trinidad and I come to Jacksonville, the jiva, that living being of Brahman has not moved anywhere. The BMI has moved in Brahman, like the pot has moved in space. Brahman cannot move from anywhere to go anywhere else. So I feel that some living being has moved from there and come here. But it is just a BMI being enlivened while it is moving in a limitless, all-pervasive reality. You get this thing? Wherever that BMI is, it is being enlivened at that time, as it is moving. It's not that BMI has brought, I have not brought Brahman from there to here. You can't take Brahman anywhere. See? So Niyamani in moving, really we cannot move the space. It's just encircling new space as it goes, like that. That is it. Gato niyata nakashaha tatha jivo nabopamaha. Nabopama is like the example of space. In the very same way, when the jiva is moving, he's not really taking Brahman with him. He is being enlivened by Brahman at all times. That is the idea. So where have you gone? Where have we gone? Nowhere. We are still where we are. Brahman is still where he is. And this jiva thinks, oh, I am a world traveler. I have gone to... And he's caught up in that thing. He likes being a world traveler. But he has to sit silently now and think about that. Upama is the example which is given. Most wonderful example it is. Ghatavat vividhakaram bhidyamanam puraha. So many different types of jiva, BMI, with the feeling of individuality. That is jiva only, the feeling of individuality, separateness, distinction. I feel that I am different from you and all. So that jiva, those jivas are so many in numbers. But when we break the BMI, means we breaking here, see, pot is there, you take a stick and you break, not that type of breaking. When we realize that the BMI also is made up of existence, that intellectual appreciation, that the BMI also is made up of pure existence. Is existence or not? Existence only, na? So mentally, when we understand that thing intellectually, then we dissolve it intellectually. Understanding itself causes the dissolution. Then we realize the BMI also is made up of existence. The feeling that I am separate, that feeling also exists or not? That feeling also exists. So everything is made up of existence. In doing that, I dissolve all the, what we call as solid things which we think to be solid in the world. Like for example, BMI and all other things. We think them to be solid entities. So intellectually we dissolve all of them. That is what is meant by breaking here. Just like when we break pots. So we break down the walls, the solid walls which we mentally hold. Again and again we break them down. Then what we realize, when you break all the pots, only space is left. When you break down all these solid walls, then what is left? Brahman. That is the idea. So intellectually we have to go on dissolving all things. What happens? We give too much of reality to things in the world. Things which we experience, which we see with our senses, we give them too much of reality. That is the way it is. And can you see how your habits in life and the things that you are attached to and the things that you hold on to, how they contribute to bondage? Like for example, if I tell somebody 2 plus 2 is equal to 5. And I am strongly insisting that 2 plus 2 is equal to 5. It shows that in my personality, there is a strong reality that I give to that which I believe. Isn't it? I believe 2 plus 2 is equal to 2 plus 2 might be equal to 5. It might be equal to anything. One fellow went for an accounting job, So the boss had 3 people to interview for that job. So he asked the first man, 2 plus 2 is how much? He said 4. He said, okay, you go home. We'll call you, don't call us. Then the second man came. 2 plus 2 is equal to how much? That man thought maybe it's a trick question because he sent that fellow home, He said 22. He said, okay, you go home. Don't call us, we'll call you. The third man came now. 2 plus 2. That fellow was very smart. He said, how much do you want it to be? So 2 plus 2 could be equal to anything. Anyway, so if you insist that 2 plus 2 is 5, it tells something about your personality. That what you think and what you believe, you're always insistent that that thing is like that. If you have that trait, it will be very difficult for you to break down the walls we are talking about. Because what you see in front of you, you will think it is exactly like that. That is why we say in the personality also, we should not have such type of insistence that this is like this and should be like this and it ought to be only like this. That becomes a hindrance in your own sadhana. Therefore we say in karma yoga and all, there should be no insistence. That is why we have such things like prasad buddhi or ishvara arpana buddhi. Prasad buddhi means what? When I do the action, I should not insist that I get this result. Let Bhagwan decide what the result will be. It's called as prasad buddhi. I accept as prasad whatever the Lord gives. Otherwise we tell Prabhu what you did to me. We complain to Bhagwan also about what he did. So prasad buddhi, that helps to remove this strong insistence in the personality. And with that, it is very helpful now for me to break down all the walls. I really don't insist or feel very strongly that a thing is in a particular way. And when we have those strong feelings, we cause a lot of trouble in society also. Therefore, you see right now all the fighting which is going on with religion and all that kind of thing. One group is insisting what they know, what they think, what they believe, that is right. And the other people are wrong. Yeah. So therefore, they are not worthy, they are not fit. Therefore, we can kill them also. So that's strong insistence. So even at the very simple levels of our personality, we can start getting rid of things that will be hindrance to the later stages in our spiritual journey. And here is one of them. So, the way I experience the world, I should not think so strongly that is the way it is. It could be so different. So we are saying now that intellectually I am supposed to dissolve all the things. And see that everything is made up of existence. And so where is the center of the universe? There is no center of the universe, because wherever you go, whichever direction, it is all same, one Sat-Chit and one existence. And these are things which are irrefutable. I mean, how can you refute that something exists? It exists or not? It is there. No. Maybe it is appearing to be there. Okay, forget that. I am there or not? I have to be there. Because who is refuting? Or who is doubting? Even if I doubt that it is there, there's somebody doubting. So I cannot refute my own existence. And even if I am superimposing it, and we say that is not there, the one who is superimposing is there. You see? So at least my existence I cannot refute or doubt. So the whole thing comes back down to existence. That existence we're talking about is all pervasive, and it is from that existence all the facades and all the things that we are experiencing, they have all emerged. So I have to intellectually dissolve all of them into that existence. Dissolve means I don't go and try to do something. Like throw acid on them to dissolve them or anything. Not like that. Intellectually, I should rationalize them. That they are all nothing but existence. Understand them. That they are all nothing but existence. And the same existence which makes up me, makes up every other thing. That is the meaning of breaking all the what? Tad bhagnam na cha janati, sa janati cha nityashaha. That when the person breaks down all of these walls, all of the structures before him, a person comes to realize that there is that one self which was there all the time. He comes to know that. All right. Now, first you tell me how many sessions we have tomorrow? 2 sessions tomorrow. And I have 15, that's 5 to 7, 8 verses.
2 sessions and 1 question.
1 question and answer. All right. The remaining verses we will leave for tomorrow. So what I want to do, tomorrow we'll see I think 8 verses might be left. We'll try to sit for a little, let's say 10-15 minutes. I'll try to have a little bit of meditation before, because we still have some time, right? Let us all try to sit up straight wherever you're sitting. Try to softly close your eyes. Sit comfortably and take a sankalpa. What sankalpa? That for the next 10 or 15 minutes, we will not move any limb. Right now you adjust and sit comfortably so that you will not have to move for the next 10 or 15 minutes. Spend a minute or two trying to listen to all different sounds you can hear in this room, around you, even your own breathing if it is making a sound. But you'll be able to identify so many different sounds. Spend 2 minutes trying to identify as many different sounds as possible. There's the sound of the water outside, the AC, if you listen well in the distance also, you can even hear the rumble of an engine. Just think now about the different sounds which we are hearing. None of those sound is eternal. There was a time in the past when the AC sound was not there. The fountain outside in the water was not there. There will also be a time in future when they will not be there. The sounds come and go. The silence behind the sounds, that is eternal. No matter how many sounds come and go, silence will always be there. Now, if you come to your own mind, just like outside, there is an all-pervasive silence. Inside also, there is an all-pervasive silence. And the thoughts that stream through our mind, they are the sounds. A thought is nothing but a sound. The thoughts also come and go. Silence of the mind never comes, nor does it go. Whatever thought, whether it is a desire, an emotion, if the mind also is rambling on, let it be. You just sit quietly and watch them. When I sit quietly and watch, I am in the company of eternal silence. Let the mind make its noise. Let it think whatever it wants to think. Just watch it think. I am not the mind and its thoughts. I am not the sounds that arise as thoughts. I am the silence from where the thoughts arise. Silence pervades every iota of my being. I exist and I persist in the lap of silence. Every cell in my body, every cell or every fraction of my mind is soaked in pure silence. To be quiet, to be silent, is to be with myself. If a noisy thought arises, and I sit on that thought and wander away, then I leave home. If a thought arises and I look at it, I am home. Observing the mind is the most powerful way to disarm the mind, to make it quiet. as you come out, also practice this art of observing. Even in the outer world, learn to be more and more observant. It will carry over each time we sit for meditation. Purnamada Namidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.